Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Dwayne, the founder of LULMagazine, and I have an exclusive interview right now with the beautiful, wonderful Ashley Quarles here, guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned as we go into some questions and answers, so that way you can learn a lot more about Ashley. Hey, how's it going, Ashley? How you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. Got my wine here. It's a beautiful day, so I'm ready. I'm ready.
Great, great, great. Well, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for just taking the time to sit down with me to kind of talk a little about your lifestyle and who you are, and also just kind of inspire others from your story today. So
Most
that's really
definitely.
the gist as to the interview, and just so that way we can kind of make a connection a little bit more. I know
Of
we've
course.
talked a little bit on social media, but this is our first time meeting, so welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just to give you a little background about LUL Magazine is that it's not to enforce or tell people about love, unity, and diversity, but it's also about reminding people about love, unity, and diversity. I think we get caught up in so many things in life that we forget about those components. So that's kind of like where we are as a magazine, as a brand, to be able to just kind of inspire others as well through our lifestyle stories. So just tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Ashley Quarles?
I am a very complex person, but I'm all about my business. Just my childhood and my past has definitely shaped the person that I am today. And to be honest, through all my trials and tribulations, I'm not sure if I would be the person I am today.
Okay.
But my thing is helping others. That's
Okay.
that's my biggest desire, just trying to help others build their own business, whether they're already flourishing in their business or
Okay.
just starting out or need an idea.
Okay.
I'm definitely all for the support. So that is why I am making the moves that I'm making,
Okay.
just trying to promote myself while also serving others.
Wow. Okay. And that's a powerful thing when you say serving others.
Hmm.
But let's take a step back and let's talk about the trials and tribulations before you even knew the type of woman that you'd be today. What were some things that you actually went through in your life?
Ooh, that is a loaded question. Well, just, most recently, about 3 years ago, I did experience an unfortunate heartbreak. And ever since then, I've just been on this mission just to be driven and motivate others, because when I needed that motivation at that time, it wasn't given.
Okay.
So now that I'm just pretty much by myself making moves, I want to be a component in other people's success, whether
Right.
they just need someone to encourage them, or
Okay.
whether I can be the person to lead them to a new opportunity.
Okay.
So at this point, I mean, I've combated homelessness myself.
Okay.
I've been in drug situations
Okay.
that I know a lot of people can relate to, and now that I have definitely turned my life around, I just
Wow.
want my testimony to encourage others.
Right. And that word testimony is truly a test.
Hmm.
I mean, when you think about the different experiences in different individuals' lives, I mean, it does create an experience, a personal and a unique experience. And I think that through our tests and our testimonials, it does allow other people to be able to be inspired by that. Now, you talked about battling homelessness and PTD and all of these other things, heartbreak. What was that like? How did that feel? Did that make you strong, or did that break you down? And then, I mean, how was that for you?
Well, of course, with any heartbreak, you're gonna go through the downs at first.
Right.
So you're gonna be in the denial phase of accepting the fact that, okay, I'm not for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's not for me. So I took it as though, first, of course, I was upset about it.
Okay.
I went through my stages. Then I just came to the realization of, okay, it happened. Let's move on. What's next? So then at that point, I got back to my dreams
Mm-hmm.
and just hustling for what I really wanted. So
Right.
after that heartbreak, I definitely just had the mindset of, okay, I know what I want for my life. So at
Right.
this point, let me buckle down and focus on something positive
Right.
rather than what I was going through at that time.
Right.
But in those 3 years of dealing with the heartbreak up until
Okay.
this point, I went through the hysteria moment.
Mm-hmm.
I just lost myself to the point to where I didn't care about having a job.
Wow.
I was just out there, and people don't understand that feelings do, they can do some things to you.
Right.
But I had to change my mindset. Luckily, my mother and my family, they were very supportive of my dreams.
Right.
They helped me to remember who I was and what my goals were.
Right.
So,
Which is important.
yes, exactly. So at some point, I just, took a hold of my life, and I said, okay, this isn't like me to stay down. I've always been a motivated individual,
Right.
all the way from adolescence through junior high, high school, college, military, up until now. So, of course, I still have my ups and downs while getting to know myself. But at the end of it all, I can say me combating my own homelessness helped me to pretty much pave the way for others to help themselves with their own
Wow.
homelessness. So.
Wow, wow, wow. And us who's receiving that assistance, we thank you, just for being able to put yourself out there on the line to be able to assist and help others. So you talk about family, and I did some research, and I was reading up, the piece that you provided me about yourself, and it talked about you being from Phoenix, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And about majority of your lifetime, I think your grandparents were the ones who raised
Yes.
you. And then even with that, how was that for you, not being able to have your mom at the initial stage of your life? How was that?
It was, I was a kid, so it was kind of like I loved being around Granny and Papa.
Okay.
And, my cousins, they were there. So I hadn't got to that stage of I'm becoming a woman. I need my mother in my life right now. Then when I finally got to it, we just fought all the time.
Okay.
But I understood, now I understood that the distance that we had, it created a barrier and pretty much a blockage just from us gaining that mother-daughter relationship. So once we actually, stayed together and lived together and dealt with any sort of childhood trauma that I may have had or issues that my mother may have had, raising me, we have became a unity, and it's a beautiful thing. We have definitely blossomed our relationship, and I just admire how my mother and I communicate at this point, because before it was just non-existent.
Wow.
We couldn't even talk without arguing. So
Wow.
just from my experience, and I had to understand that my mother also had a life. So, I gave her a hard time. I was her only child. So it was just a bunch of rebellion and me trying to live my life while respecting and understanding that she also has a life too. So, at some point I had to grow up, and
Right.
she had to respect my adulthood. But at the end of it, it just truly blossomed into something that I would have never thought it would blossom into.
Wow, and that's important. And if I'm not mistaken, you used the word unity, and that's actually one of the words that LULMagazine stands on as a foundation, is unity. Understanding the importance of that word and realizing that two or more come together, it shall be done. So you got to
Exactly.
understand that, and it's okay to take your time. You know what I'm saying, before you get to that place. But it all still revolves around time. Time is of the essence, and you have to make sure
Right.
that you take the time to really understand the situation that you're going through.
Exactly.
So, we applaud you for just being
thank you.
strong and, staying committed. There's another thing that I read about, was that you came out to your mom.
I did that.
How was that?
I didn't really come out to her. She kind of knew.
Okay.
As long as I can remember, as a kid, I won't say it was an attraction, but I've always been for women, because I've always watched my mom defend herself as a woman. Like my father, he really wasn't there in my life. And not that I'm a strict feminist, because of course I support the male gender. I'm not against you guys at all. But I grew up in this traditional, conventional type household, just Christian, strict.
Oh, wow.
So, a lot of people can relate to being raised in a religious household and having to hide who you really are.
Exactly.
Knowing you may be judged at the end of it. When, it's like a contradiction. I grew up hearing my mom say, we're not going to judge you, you're not supposed to judge people. But we had our battles of, this is who I am, this is me. I can't live the life you want me to live because you can't accept it.
Right.
And, that was 10 plus years of dealing with that. And that's why I say we have definitely blossomed into just a completely different duo of mother and daughter. So I mean, I wasn't even scared when I came out to her. She, like I said, she already knew. She was just in that phase of denial. So once we just worked everything out, I mean, I ended up going to the military, and I guess that gave her some time to think about it. But, you know, it was just, we've had ample opportunities to work on this. And, you know, sometimes we took advantage of it, sometimes we just brushed it off. But at the end of the day, we definitely have came together because we both just couldn't see our relationship fail.
Right. That's important, and I feel like relationships are important. Even though we say we don't care about relationships, they are very important. So
Definitely.
I understand.
I think we all care. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of people put on that facade of I don't care to shield their own
Shield it.
feelings when at the end of the
Exactly.
day, we're born, you know, we're equipped and we're just meant to be loved. We're not meant to be by ourselves.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And family is a big part of our life, and not just family, but friends, and then your partner, or significant
oh,
other. So
definitely.
that's definitely
Still working on
understood.
that part.
Right. It's
For
okay. It's gonna
myself,
come
you
to
know,
you. Right.
it is. I'm being patient.
Right. So fast forward a little bit now. We've talked about family, and we've talked about a few things that you had to go through as a child, and and how you created a life for yourself, a really good life, and now you have this entertainment business that you're doing, a Queen's Entertainment.
The Queen's Entertainment.
Right, right, a beautiful name. And so when you talk about military, did that help you build your foundation for your business?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, how so?
That was the beginning foundation. That was the platform where I got started from. I wanted the typical 9 to 5 job before I went into the military. It was just, oh, I'm gonna go to school, get a degree, and do a 9 to 5 until I retire. But of course, God had other plans. So once I got into the military, I was given the opportunity to travel overseas to South Korea. And, a lot of people say, well, how was that? It was absolutely beautiful. The people there were amazing. The culture is amazing. And I just encourage anybody to travel as much as they can. I love the United States, but it definitely is a change to travel outside of your comfort zone. So when I got there, I noticed that they had a program, and it was actually called Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers. And I ended up becoming the president of that.
Oh, wow.
And
Congratulations.
thank you. And it was a trying job. It was pretty much being a business owner. I had to plan events, I had to budget, I had to market, and I also had to hire people on to do these jobs for me. But before I was able to do that, I had to do all this stuff by myself. So once I just got into the position to really make a move, I started doing fashion shows. I started doing talent shows, hosting, MC, DJing, and I found myself having a passion and a craving to keep doing that. So I ended up leaving there, came to the States. It was completely different. Honestly, it was a lot harder to get started when I came back to get into the States as opposed to being international, because there's just it's different when you're out of state. It's more unity when cultures come together overseas, and then you got the States just from all areas of the world. And I was able to experience different cultures, different music. So my ability to surround myself in different environments has enhanced my success pretty much.
Wow, wow, and I know that is a big success. So what is one word to describe your business?
Queen.
Okay.
Queen. I mean, to be honest, I've changed the name of it so many times, and I finally found one that I found suit for not only promoting myself as a queen, but I mean, we're in Atlanta. It's queens, and I don't mean just black queens. I mean, you got, the drag queens. You got just all sorts of races out here. I honestly want to appeal to as many people as I can, and not necessarily our black queens in this world, of course.
Wow.
So just, I have to put myself out there as a queen and somebody who stands their ground, because that's the type of vibe I want my business to have. I want my business to include strong individuals who are reaching a goal, and whether I'm just helping them with $5 or help them promote their business, I just want to support whoever comes to me for help, and vice versa.
Right, and that's understandable, and as we all should, as a growing society. So I just want to say thank you so much for just sharing your insight about who you are, to allow people to be able to see who you are and to be vulnerable about that. And so since you want to share something, what do you have to say to our viewers right now who are looking at you at this moment?
Well, just never give up. Never give up on your dreams, even if it seems you've tried everything, you haven't. And I've been in the pit to where, you know, just sitting in the corner in the dark, not realizing or not knowing that the light is literally right around the corner and I just have to hold on a little bit longer. So just stay encouraged and persevere through the hard times. Being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing.
Right.
It's a 24/7, 365 job. This
Right.
is something you can't just jump into and think, oh, you know, I'm just going to get rich the next day. It's really something you have to be dedicated to and know that this is what you want.
Right,
So just
right,
at the end of the day, never give up. Just
Right.
vision it and then follow through with it,
Right.
no matter how long it takes you.
Right. And thank you so much for sharing that. And at the
Oh,
end of
thank
the
you.
day, we just want to say to everybody, let us live. Live your authentic truth and be yourselves and never apologize for who you are and what you stand for.
Indeed.
LUL, thank you guys.